completely different track conditions compared to what we had earlier in our heat races and also during mid-afternoon practices for our Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series drivers. "17 cars a part of this historical event on the high banks of Oyster Speedway for round number 4 of 6 for the 2025 season. A pair of Prince Edward Island drivers on the front row, a veteran on the inside and a young gun to the outside. Robbie McEwen looking for his first super late model win since last year on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Tan Woolridge has not finished worse than 4th all year on the Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series. And what a story this would be if he could pull off a victory here tonight and pull ahead of Ryan Messer for the championship lead. Again, cars 01 and 1 are both tied for the championship lead. All right, folks, this time by, we want you to give these guys the wave off, backstretch, wave them off, send them off for 200 green flag laps. They will wave back at you for coming and supporting them and making this happen through 3 and 4. Give them the wave. Front stretch drivers, give them the wave. Remember, it's 100 green flag laps and then a halfway break for about 12 minutes or so for adjustment and fuel, and then another 100 laps to the finish of this one. Lloyd Joseph gives them the 1 to green. The Oyster Speedway pace car will roll off with Robbie McEwen and Tan Woolridge leading the field to green. Ladies and gentlemen, round number 4 on the year for the Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series at Oyster Speedway. Coming up, the Island Construction 200 is underway. Lap number 1 going to be completed with Robbie McEwen leading the field that time. Tan Woolridge still there on his right rear, battling for that top position. McEwen might be able to clear this time. We'll see if he does. Yes, he does. Robbie McEwen clears Tan Woolridge. As now they're side by side for second between Dave Oblinus and Tan Woolridge. Oblinus fell just short of a podium finish at the Recar 200 on July 5th at Speedway 660. He wants to crack the podium for the first time in his Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series career. He clears Woolridge for second and now looks ahead to your EIT Race Radio's pole sitter, Robbie McEwen, for position number 1. Top 6 single file, Ryan Messer to the back of Tan Woolridge, his opponent for the points lead. He looks to the right rear through 1 and 2. In front of Mark Leclerc and Greg Fay, Darren McKinnon clears Chris Hughes for 7th. Hughes and Somerville are door to door at a turn 4. Messer passes Woolridge for that final podium position. Most of this field, or at least the top 10 now single file. Oh, Lonnie Somerville shut the door on Corey Hall out of 4. That was back for 8th. Now Hall looking back underneath Somerville. Hall was your Maritime Pro Stock Tour winner here last weekend. Somerville, the reigning Super Late Model Series winner in the Recar 200 last month. And of course, Hurricane Hall chasing after 4 consecutive Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series victories at Oyster Speedway. There might have been a bit of a moment there between him and Darren McKinnon. Big contact, McKinnon spins. Weston into him, multi-car incident, turns 1 and 2. Caution. Oh, goodness. Remember last Saturday's BJ's Truck Center 150.
Hi, I'm Chris Duncan, and I've been building, installing, and servicing pressure washers with Easy-Kleen Pressure Systems for over 20 years. At Easy-Kleen, we service all makes and models of pressure washers. At all of our branches across North America, we have in-house, and we also have mobile service. We also have preventative maintenance programs and emergency service, so you're never down. Give us a call at Easy-Kleen.
Dylan Gosby rounding out your current top 10. And then it's Cal Hatfield, Chris Hughes, Darren McKinnon, Ken Vincent, and then Brandon Albert and Brody Lewis might be trying to sort things out there at the back of the field. We're still pacing. Race control still figuring things out. Lloyd Joseph finally giving them the 1 to green. This time by as the Oyster Speedway pace car will roll off. Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series drivers underneath the Charlottetown Mitsubishi lap board. Down the back and ready to go back. Green flag racing, 10 laps completed. 190 to go. It's Oblinus and McEwen leading them back to green. An almost equal start between McEwen and Oblinus, but the 40 gets the edge ahead at a turn 2 and down the back as Ryan Messer goes high on Oblinus. Down the front, Messer got second at the line. But still, door to door, in behind Robbie McEwen and ahead of Tan Woolridge, who has cleared for 4th. Here comes Corey Hall up high on Greg Fay for 5th. Messer to 2nd, Oblinus 3rd. Hall looking high on Woolridge to the right rear. What a run to the high side. And now just along that rear bumper of the 48. The 83 charges ahead on the outside. Here comes Ryan Messer challenging Robbie McEwen for the race lead. Corey Hall clears Oblinus down the back, coming at 15 laps completed. Corey Hall running his IWK 250 winning white Hamkey instead of the black and blue Fury. And that thing is storming to the front early in this one. To the right rear of Ryan Messer down the back, coming to 17 laps completed. And off of 2, Hall's gonna clear. He now has Robbie McEwen in his sights. The Midcoast Excavations King Competition, California Remax Hamkey machine filling the rearview mirror of the Racing Construction Mean Racing number 40. But not giving him too much of a challenge just yet. You would think early in this one might want to try to save yourself just a little bit. Oh, we might have given a bit of a look to the inside through 1 and 2, through 3 and 4. McEwen, Hall and Messer up in the middle of the low lanes. Now with 21 laps completed, it's still Sherwood's Robbie McEwen pioneering the field. While Darren McKinnon did make his way back to the track, Hudson Weston is in the pit area. Not sure if their night is exactly done, but they're trying to figure things out. Here comes Corey Hall to the inside of Robbie McEwen for the lead. Now with 23 laps completed, 83 and 40 side by side. Down the back of the 3 and 4, and Corey Hall clears for the lead. New race leader, looking to go 2 consecutive years undefeated at Oyster Speedway. Heading into this one, I believe it's been 7 of 8 Maritime starts that Hall has gone to victory lane. It's somewhere within that realm. It's 6 for 7 or 7 or 8, but either way, he's only lost 1 race on the year thus far back at Riverside International Speedway. That race going to Ashton Tucker on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour. Hall looking for his second Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series win on the year, and another one at Oyster Bay Speedway. First half of the year, Ashton Tucker winning at Petty, Corey Hall at Oyster Bend, and Lonnie Somerville at Speedway 660. It still continues to be Corey Hall at the head of this field now with 30 laps complete. Starting to put a bit of a distance between him and Robbie McEwen at a 4. Single file through most of this field, Ken Vincent and Darren McKinnon are together there, but I don't think they're battling for position. Vincent 11th on our timing. Ryan Messer's been all over the rear of Robbie McEwen, trying to find a hole somewhere to get past him and gain 1 position higher on the podium. He's followed by Dave Oblinus. Brody, oh, yellow. Yellow on the speedway. With 34 laps completed. Oh yes, Cal Hatfield is spun around on the outside of turn 4. Day of the Emmett Donahue Memorial Street Stock 100, where the next Piston Cup champion will be crowned. 1 to green, pace car rolls off. Brody Lewis back to the track, 34 laps completed. Corey Hall chose the outside, Robbie McEwen to the inside ahead of Dave Oblinus, Ryan Messer, Dylan Gosby, Tanton Woolridge, and the rest of the field back to green. Corey Hall with a great jump down the back, clears ahead of the side-by-side battle between the 40 and the 1. Robbie McEwen versus Ryan Messer for second. Messer has about a half a car length's edge. He'll try to clear down the front into 1, not just yet. McEwen keeps him busy on that left rear quarter panel. Through 3 and 4, now Ryan Messer ahead for second. Single file, top 4, almost top 5. Lonnie Somerville looking high on Dave Oblinus down the front. Oh, Oblinus about to squeeze Somerville into the outside wall. I'm not sure how the 23 might react to that one. And he's right back to the right rear of the Burger King 48. That's for 5th. And now Somerville will get in front. Dylan Gosby now capitalizing on the high groove down the back through 3 and 4. And he will clear Dave Oblinus. That will be for 7th. Corey Hall and the rest of the pack are going to get by Cal Hatfield. Now with 42 laps completed, it continues to be all Corey Hall out of Plymouth, Nova Scotia. Of course, shout out to Corey Hall and Kelsey Hand, new homeowners over in Nova Scotia, so congratulations to the both of them. Kelsey Hand pulling off a top 10 finish earlier in the Picket Care 50. And now if this night were end off with a Corey Hall win, what a night it would be for those two. Now at 46 laps completed, I would say 3-4 car lengths between the 83 and the 1, now through 3 and 4 and a 47 laps completed. Most of this field is single file. Keep an eye on Darren McKinnon back in 10th. There's still plenty of racing left in this one. Could we see a redemption arc for the ages out of the Charlottetown veteran? That incident earlier was a very close call, but his objective earlier when interviewing him was he simply wants to beat Corey Hall. It doesn't matter if it's for the win, it's for second, third, whatever positions they are, he wants to beat Hurricane Hall and dethrone him of his maritime success this year. "50 laps completed and 150 to go. We're now at the length of a regular Easy-Kleen Super Elite Model Series feature. Now down to 16 of the Maritime's best stock car drivers. Under the lights in front of a packed house here at Oyster Speedway. Corey Hall still showing the way. Oh, Chris Hughes and Darren McKinnon getting close. Contact through 1 and 2. Train a little bit of pain. I think Darren McKinnon wants to get back to the front of this field. He will get by the East Coast International 32. Darren McKinnon is not out of this one. Not even close just yet. As we are quickly cycling through this one now, 56 laps completed. Still Corey Hall leading. Ryan Messer's not fully letting him get away. Neither is Robbie McEwen. Now with 59 laps completed, No battles going on throughout this entire field other than Corey Hall getting past some lap cars as they're all getting by Cal Hatfield again. Ken Vincent is on that back bumper of Chris Hughes for 10th. So 83, 1, 40, 01, and 23 are your top 5 with 62 laps completed. And then it's 16, 48, 20, 18, and 32 your current top 10. Blue and yellow flag being signaled to our lap cars to tell them the leaders are coming. Let them go. As Corey Hall's now catching up to Brody Lewis and Brandon Albert. I think it's safe to say that Hudson and Weston's night is certainly done. One side of the car was up there in the pit area, but now back down all 4 wheels. Not what Hudson Weston wanted to get out of his return to Oyster Speedway for the first time since last year. Corey Hall gets past Brody Lewis. He's got Brandon Albert next. Now with 67 of 200 laps completed. Nearly 30 laps away from the halfway break, where all these guys can head to the pit area, make some adjustments, fill up their cars, and see if maybe, just maybe, that one little tinker, that one little adjustment that they could make could set themselves up for the Island Construction 200 victory for the next 100 laps. Ryan Messer, Robbie McEwen getting by Brody Lewis. 10 Woolridge will be up next. It's still Hall, Messer, McEwen, Woolridge, and Somerville, your top 5. McEwen's hounding Messer just a little bit down the back. Dylan Gosby and Dave Obelinas are just in behind Lonnie Somerville. Dara McKinnon starting to catch up to Greg Fay for 8th. Now with 72 laps completed. And again for Corey Hall, a little car change from the Fury to the Hamkey. Not a big deal clearly being shown here. That car did not get off to a good start in the Wajax 150 for the Maritime Pro Stock Tour back in June. And then the IWK 250, he led all but one lap and took home, I believe, over $40,000 in prize money. Now we have a battle shaking up side by side. It's Dylan Gosby and Lonnie Somerville for 5th. Finally getting a little bit of action here on the tight confines of Oyster Bed Speedway. Cal Hatfield and Brandon Albert are slowing a couple lead cars just a little bit as Ryan Messer's trying to get by Cal Hatfield and Brandon Albert. So are McEwen and Woolridge. Now they all get by just fine. Gosby was having his peaks underneath Lonnie Somerville for 5th, but it drops back in behind. Corey Hawley coming now to 80 laps completed. Trying to get past the Easy-Kleen Pressure Systems 97 of Chris Duncan. Hill and Mark Leclerc next. Somerville, Gosby, Oblinus now getting underneath Brendan Albert through 3 and 4. Albert was not making it too easy for them. Gosby now back with another look underneath Somerville. Nose was there at the left rear, down the back, down the front. Somerville gets back in front. Now with 82 laps completed, coming to 83 for car number 83. A lot of these guys continue to be in some sort of a sneak, especially around these corners. If they're not around lap cars, at least. New battle now, it's Darren McKinnon to the left of Greg Fay down the front with 86 laps completed. As I was saying earlier, the 18 wants to get back to the front after the earlier incident. Oh, we might have given a bit of a touch to the 20. Still on that left rear. Fay playing big defense on that outside. He clears back in front of the 18. Someone might have to remind the 18 that the halfway break is coming up, and these guys will be re-racked back up for the restart after the halfway break. Corey Hall now gets to 90 laps completed, 10 to go until the halfway break, and halfway through the Island Construction 200. McKinnon still trying to find every way imaginable to get past Greg Fay just before the halfway break. Gosby might get a bit of a tap to Lonnie Somerville at a 2. Down the back and through 3 and 4. They're door to door. Might be trying a bit of paint. Gosby will try to clear down the back and through 3 and 4. To the front stretch. Yes, Dylan Gosby clears to position number 5. Corey Hall long and gone. Away from Ryan Messer, Robbie McEwen, and Tanton Woolridge. As he comes to 95 laps completed. Hall again getting past Brody Lewis down the backstretch. Gosby trying to pass Chris Duncan. Eventually Mark Leclerc as well. Couple laps away from the halfway caution. We were told during the drivers' meeting, as soon as they get 100 laps completed and pretty much as every car gets to the line, we will then throw the yellow flag. This time it's going to be 100 laps completed and halfway through the Island Construction 200 with Corey Hall still at the top of the board. We'll wait for the yellow flag to be thrown for this halfway break. Still in this field cycle through to 101 laps completed. Corey Hall gets to the line. There is the yellow flag. Halfway through the Island Construction 200. And so now, everyone will head to the pits. for, I believe, 12 minutes to be exact. And they will tinker around with their cars, fuel them up to get to the end of this one. And we'll see if anybody emerges out of the pit area with maybe something better than Corey Hall as we get to the end of this one. Other than some early yellow flags within the first 34 laps, the rest of the way it was all green flag racing. And that first half cycled through relatively quick. But now we'll see if the second half is an entirely different ball game. So while we are under this halfway break, don't forget to head on over to our merch booth. I believe the canteen might still be open by the looks of it. And based on the choose cone, as a reminder, of course, some of these positions did change a little bit between when we had the halfway caution, then when we got into the halfway break, and then everyone did their little choose cone thing on the back stretch. Lloyd Joseph gives them the white flag, 1 lap until we go back green. Does anyone have anything for the 83 of Corey Hall? In the rest of this one, we will find out over the next 100 laps. The Island Construction 200 is back underway! And just like that, making no mistakes, Corey Hall already jumping ahead of the rest of the pack. Robbie McEwen is cleared for second. It's Woolridge and Messer. Door to door for third. Woolridge looking underneath McEwen, but has to stay to the left of Messer. Down the back stretch, Woolridge with just over half a car length ahead. Messer not trying to let him clear just yet. Woolridge finally in front for third, and then it's Messer, Dylan Gosby single file ahead of Greg Fay and Lonnie Somerville. Knuckle to knuckle for sixth. I see a lot of orange tape on the hood of the 18 of Darren McKinnon. Not sure if that car may have anything for the win the rest of the night, but there's still plenty of racing remaining. Still a lot of laps left in this one. Knowing what happened in that earlier incident at 10 laps completed, we could only maybe hope at this point he could be a top 5 finish at best for the 18, but do not underestimate him. Dylan Gosby, Ryan Messer battling for fourth. Down the back and through turns 3 and 4. Down the front, Gosby about lost the back end. Very close quarter action between the 16 and the 1. The NAV Canada Pick a Care King Competition Fury will finally get in front of Ryan Messer for 4th. Remember, Dylan Gosby came into play in the second half of the Universal Truck and Trailer 150 back in June, and that's how he was able to propel himself to a runner-up finish in behind Corey Hall. We've seen it play out here before multiple times. Dylan Gosby comes to show in the latter half of the event. Remember him versus Troy Burke in the Universal Truck and Trailer 150 in 2023. And you know what? Go figure, the 16 is catching the 01, now driven by Dan Woolridge for 3rd. Top 5 single file. Now a challenge for 6th. Darren McKinnon to the inside of Lonnie Somerville. Somerville about middle of the high, may have not had the greatest corner entry there. Still up high, Darren McKinnon trying to use that inside line to the best of his ability. Oh, they touch! They keep going just fine. They're about perfectly bumper to bumper down the back. McKinnon will barely get him at the line. Oh! He might have given him not much room there down the front. I don't think Somerville has really been given a whole lot of room by a lot of drivers tonight. Ken Vincent was trying to shut the door on Dave Oblinus for 9th. But Oblinus on the bottom. Quarter to quarter down the back stretch now with 119 or 120 laps completed now. Oh, contact, 3 and 4. That was Oblinus and Vincent. Chris Hughes is in behind them. That's 3 racing veterans going for 9th. Oblinus will get the advantage at a turn 2. Vincent still trying to use that high line. He's on the right rear down the back stretch. It's working a little, but not enough. 124 laps completed now for Corey Hall. He's just exiting turn 2. And now Robbie McEwen does. That's how far it is between the 83 and the 40. All lead lap cars getting by Cal Hatfield. Now Somerville edges in front. Coriel now getting past Brody Lewis through turns 1 and 2. 3 cars under a blanket for 2nd, and they're all from Prince Edward Island. Robbie McEwen, Dan Woolridge, and Dylan Gosby. Under the night skies, about half a moon or so in the distance. To the southwest from our view up here in the tower. Corey Hall just about approaching. 70 laps remaining in the Island Construction 200. Whatever adjustments were made to that 83, clearly so far it has made that car a long better than what we saw in the first half of this one. That White Hamke is on a mission to go 2 for 3, and he'll be looking to go for a Summer Class 250 win with the Maritime Pro Stock Tour next Saturday night at Scotia Speed World. Not sure if he'll be the Fury or the Hamke for that one. But knowing how this is going, knowing the IWK 250 win, I can only imagine the choice is obvious. McEwen, Woolridge, and Gosby firing past Brody Lewis down the front stretch and through 1 and 2. Corey Hall now will get to 135 laps completed and 65 laps remaining. We've been going on and on about his Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series dominance at Oyster Speedway this year and last year. Of course, last Saturday on the Maritime Pro Stock Tour, he got his first Oyster Speedway win since 2022. We about had a battle between Lonnie Somerville and Greg Fay for 7th, but Somerville gets back in front. The 40.01 and 16 are basically, you know, kind of magneted to each other. If that's even a proper word. Kind of stuck in position. All going at it for second. And now at 140 laps completed for Corey Hall. Again, maybe those three could be saving something for the end of this one. But Corey Hall is still obliterating the field as he'll come to 142 laps completed and now almost 50 laps remaining. McEwen, Woolridge, and Gosby will get by Cal Hatfield once again. Woolridge is looking left and right on McEwen for that runner-up position, but still has not been able to get that line and that advantage that he needs to get past the beaten Racing 40. Might have something brewing now for that final top 5 position. Here comes Darren McKinnon. To the left rear, Ryan Messer through 1 and 2. Side by side down the back. I don't know if there was a touch there to 3 and 4, but Messer gets back ahead. Dylan Gosby had a couple of peaks underneath. Dan Woolridge for 3rd, but not able to execute anything just yet. I'm seeing sparks out of Chris Duncan's number 97. As 2nd through 4th will get past him through turns 3 and 4. Again, you would think for someone like Chris Duncan, after that terrifying rollover that he had in the Ricard 200 back in July, you would think for someone like him, he would just simply want to finish this one out. Oh, McKinnon put Messer on the wall down the front. That car is smoking through 1 and 2 and down the back. He squeezed him into the front stretch wall. Messer's coming to a halt just entering turn 3, and there is the caution flag. And that is going to be huge for our championship battle. That is going to be a significant help for the 01 of Tan Woolridge. Smoke kind of coming out of Big Orange. And he's climbing out, window net down, Ryan Messer out of the number 1. And I would say it's safe to assume he would not be happy with a certain number 18 car.
$12,000 models, thousands of units sold, sales to over 20 countries. We are Easy-Kleen. For over 40 years, we've been manufacturing the hardest working pressure washers in the world, right here in our backyard. We are looking for people with a good attitude and a willingness to learn. If you want to be part of something great for generations to come, email us today. Easy-Kleen, Kings County proud.
We are choosing this time by, so we'll see what the drivers decide to do. Hall goes high, McEwen low, Woolridge outside, Gosby inside, McKinnon outside, Somerville low, Fay high, Oblinus bottom, Vincent top, Hughes low, Duncan, Albert high, Helfield low, Lewis high, and Leclerc high. Again, 149 laps completed, 51 more to go in the Island Construction 200. Either Corey Hall might have this one in the bag, or maybe, just maybe, we'll see if anyone behind him has been saving their equipment for the end of this one. We'll see if maybe there's a bit of desperation in the 18. Obviously, I have to forget about what happened there down the front stretch. Lloyd Joseph gives them the 1 to green. Oyster by Speedway pace car rolls off in behind the flag stand. We'll see how these final 51 laps will shake out. It's Corey Hall outside, Robbie McEwen inside through 3 and 4 into the King competition restart zone. Green flag. Corey Hall with quite the jump on that restart. We're going to keep it going. And wow, Tan Woolridge's choice during that choose cone situation on the restart has put him into second place ahead of Robbie McEwen. Here comes Darren McKinnon on the outside of Dylan Gosby for 4th. As Corey Hall is starting to get away, what does McEwen have for Woolridge? It was on that back bumper through 3 and 4. Through 1 and 2, he's trying to fill his rearview mirror. It's still door-to-door Gosby and McKinnon for 4th. And behind them, you have 3 New Brunswick drivers, Somerville, Fay, and Oblinus. It's Oblinus and Vincent duking it out for 8th ahead of Chris Hughes. Gosby and McKinnon might have got a little close there down the front as Gosby clears for 4th. Now single file through most of this field with under 45 laps remaining for Corey Hall. Some very late night racing here under the lights on the high banks of Oyster Speedway to wrap up tonight's big event. To put into perspective with Corey Hall, he's getting off at 2 now. Now Woolridge does. I don't know if you put like 5, 6 cars maybe between the 83 and the 01. So unless we get a late race restart or if something breaks on car 83, then it continues to be all Corey Hall as Cal Hatfield heads to the pits. "14 cars now left on the track. At this point, you could say Corey Hall is essentially coasting it around this place, but again, he still has to hit his marks, make sure that maybe, just maybe, that Tan Woolridge doesn't have something underneath him for a big boost within these final now 35 laps of the Island Construction 200. Oh, McEwen had a little bit of a loose moment there to 4. He still hangs on to 3rd. Dylan Gosby is about a car length in behind him through 3 and 4. Bit of a look to the inside, but McEwen has the better corner exit. Corey Hall still leading for Prince Edward Islanders between 2nd and 5th. Woolridge, McEwen, Gosby, and McKinnon. Decent separation between all of them. Lonnie Somerville comfortably kind of at the same distance between him and McKinnon. And then in behind, Greg Fay trying to hold off Dave Oblinus for 7th. Ken Vincent trying to hang on for a top 10 finish. I know there's been a couple of rub-ins between some of these guys tonight, especially towards the back of the top 10. Hall gets by Brandon Albert and Brody Lewis. Gosby still has a couple of looks on Robbie McEwen. Now at 173 laps completed, this one is just ticking every minute, every second. It's ticking off. We're cycling through this second half quick as anything. Oh, bleeding to the inside of Greg Fay, again for 7th. Trying to gain a couple of extra points. Maybe some extra money in there as well. Hall gets past Mark Leclerc through 1 and 2. He will be coming to 24 laps remaining in the Island Construction 200. Might have been a potential touch between the 20 and the 48 still. Kind of trading paint for 7th. Ken Vincent is right there, ready to take advantage if the 20 and the 48 have a moment. Corey Hall now underneath Chris Duncan. Oh, there's a bit of a touch through 3 and 4. Meanwhile, back in second, Tan Woolridge looking for a best career super late model run. It was 4th at Petty, 3rd here back in June, and then at the Ricard 200, another 3rd place finish. Looking to make it up to that runner-up position here tonight at his home track. Robbie McEwen trying to hang on over Dylan Gosby for his first podium finish on the series since 1 year ago. Picked up 2 at Petty, and then 1 here at Oyster Bed. The Universal Truck and Trailer 150 podium in June was Corey Hall, Dylan Gosby, and Tan Woolridge. Besides one position change, if Gosby can get up and pass Robbie McEwen, now with 185 laps completed, then it could be the same besides that one little change between 2nd and 3rd. Gosby's challenging the best he can as Corey Hall is coming to 18, or we'll say over 10 laps remaining in this one. Gosby is trying his hardest to be able to get on the podium and be interviewed in just a couple of moments. He wants another podium finish here at Oyster Bed Speedway. For NAV Canada. Kick, oh, there's contact! Through 1 and 2. He's trying to make the inside line work. We've seen him be successful before. That's how he got his Universal Truck and Trailer 150 win 2 years ago. As Corey Hall now has 9 laps remaining in the Island Construction 200. He'll now be at 8 laps away from back-to-back yearly sweeps at Oyster Bed Speedway. 2 wins last year, 1 thus far in 2025, and pursuing another in just a couple of laps. Corey Hall continuing to pile on many wins on his Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series resume, and also in recent years at Oyster Bed Speedway. 4.5 laps away from adding another one. 4 laps to go for the Mid-Coast Excavation Services and Chris Fournier Remax number 83. What a year it's been for Corey and the crew at King Competition. Woolridge comfortable in 2nd, almost 3 wide as Robbie McEwen and Dylan Gosby were trying to get by Chris Hughes down the front stretch. Oblina is still challenging Greg Fay for 7th. Popsicle sticks in the air, 2 to go for Corey Hall. And there is the white flag for the Plymouth, Nova Scotia driver, formerly a native of Jolly-Cured, New Brunswick. Down the back for one final time and through 3 and 4. Hurricane Hall will strike again. The storm continues to brew. Corey Hall wins the Island Construction 200. Tan Woolridge 2nd. Robbie McEwen comes home in the final podium position with Dylan Gosby 4th. Darren McKinnon 5th. we will head down trackside and talk to our race winner with now 4 consecutive wins at Oyster Speedway on the Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series. Into victory lane. Now 2 wins on the year on the Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series. He'll be getting ready to climb out in just a couple seconds. Climbing out of the car, you can hear you now, Corey Hall! Oh, Corey, Hurricane Hall continues to brew.
Yeah, I got to thank the guys for such a great car today. We worked pretty hard all day. We haven't had this out. We tested it once, I guess, last week, and weren't quite happy with it and took it back to the shop, made a bunch of changes, and then came here and made a bunch more changes and kind of got it where I was looking to get it. And, man, this thing was on rails. Really good car, and huge thank you to Andrew, King Competition, for letting me drive this thing. It's crazy fast, and obviously the Wharfs for being a part of it as well.
And now back in June, Universal Truck and Trailer 150. It was a 150 that time around. This time at 200, 100 consecutive laps, halfway break to kind of make some adjustments, get some fuel in the cars, blah, blah, blah. It seemed like the adjustments you made over in the pit area there during that halfway break seemed to kind of make your car better, by the looks of it at least. What was going on there?
Yeah, we didn't really do anything. We just put a little fuel in and fired on that start, and it was go time. So was able to kind of maintain the lead and a gap and get ourselves in a safe spot.
And, more success here for the car that won the IWK 250 here in the white ham key instead of the Fury. What went into the decision to choose this car instead of the Fury?
Yeah, obviously we want to race this car and keep learning and working on it and trying to get it better. So now we feel like we're starting to make strides and what the car wants and what it needs and how to get it working. And obviously I know the feel that I got in the other car, and it's really good, and it's hard to believe that this one might be a little bit better.
And yet another one at Oyster Speedway, 2 years in a row, undefeated in Oyster Bridge on the Easy-Kleen Super Late Model Series. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. To come here and I don't even know how many wins that this is this year. Obviously, it's a lot, and huge thanks to all my great sponsors that hop on board and help us out. Wouldn't be able to do it without them at all. So it's really cool to come here, especially. This place is pretty special to me, and had a lot of great runs. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's your winner of the Island Construction 200, the 83 of Corey Hall. And now, best career finish here, up 1 position from the Universal Truck and Trailer 150 back in June. There he is. The 01 at 10, Woolridge, give it up. Well, Tan, 1 position better than the previous 2 races here, of course. Not the win just yet, but it seems like you keep taking it step by step, and you're slowly starting to get there.
Yeah, that's the whole goal. We said at the start of the year this was our learning year. We're going to go attack for wins and championships in the coming years, but we're just trying to keep making gains, and really proud of this team. I think we've continued to do that, continuing to finish on the podium, and keep trying to pick them off. 660's probably my favorite track, and I know that 83 car isn't going, so we're going to try to go get one up there.
Absolutely. In the first half of the race, it seemed like you were in a lot of battles there with a lot of other island drivers, especially in particular. But in the second half, you were able to kind of get away and be comfortable in that second place position, especially that restart, too, the choose cone and everything. You were able to pounce up there into second place over Robbie McEwen, so that certainly must have helped. Was there anything during the halfway break that may have helped the 01 as well?
Yeah, just the crew doing everything right in the pits, making sure we got this thing cooled off as much as we could. And then just me and Robbie kind of talking through it and what we think we need to make it a little bit better. And, I think kind of every adjustment we made at that halfway really kind of picked it up. got a lot better drive, a little better cut center. So, yeah, no, the crew just gave an awesome car, and it was really good to start the day, and then they only made it better throughout. So.
And we can only imagine how this is going to help in your fight for the championship.
Yeah, we're not thinking about that. If you start thinking about championship, you're only going to go backwards. So we just got to make sure we keep doing everything right. Make sure we're, checking every nut and bolt and doing everything right in the shop. And if we got a shot for it up at Petty, then we'll go try to chase it.
Very valid points. Who gets a thanks for being able to come on out here and get the job done?
Yeah, big thank you to Chris Fournier, Remax, Livingston Steel, Rangers Automotive, SUK Atlantic, Harrington Hilton. Everybody that helps make this car go fast, GSD Utility Services, obviously all the crew, Robbie for making all the changes, and everybody that puts in multiple shop nights a week when they could be out on boats during summers. So everybody gets a huge thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's the 01 Tan Warridge in second place. And it's PEI second through third. How about a podium finish for Robbie McEwen? Solid run there. How about that?
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. We've been kind of struggling this season, so I think we're starting to make a step in the right direction. And just from where we unloaded today, I think we got the car a lot better. We threw everything at it but the kitchen sink, basically. So no, we're happy with it. We definitely need a little more at the end there to hang with 0-1. Definitely didn't have anything for Corey, but we're maybe made the wrong choice there in that last restart. But I mean, that's kind of part of this series. It puts a lot in the driver's hands, and we're happy with it. We'll take it and run.
And now with this whole thing with 100 laps, then the halfway break, and then another 100 laps, how'd that kind of play around for your performance?
Pretty good. We were actually having carburetor problems there. As soon as Sakasha came out of lap 100, I thought we were going to be done. I could barely keep the motor going. Got back out on the track, just did what I could to get it going. Whatever was wrong, it cleared itself out, and we were all right. So, I wish we didn't have that issue, because we probably could have focused on, making an adjustment or two at the halfway, but we just we were trying to sort that out and just left it as is, and it was good enough for third, so we'll take it.
Now back at home this year, you have one more chance with the Maritime Pro Stock Tour on September 6th. Is that going to be the one?
Oh, of course, that's going to be the one, right? I think we're starting to go in the right direction with the cars, so we learned a bit tonight, so we can kind of put all our thoughts together, and we got a bit of time to think about it, and hopefully come back and try to snag one.
100%. Congratulations.
Thanks.
That's the 40 Robbie McEwen, third place. Folks, give it up for your top three.